Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Good morning. Bit of a late start. Kids were messing around this morning. Right, I want to talk about one particular thing actually, but we will have an overview of the market first. But I am going to talk about my expectations for, I suppose, alt season and then what's going to happen next year. Just in case people feel like they've missed out, which I can understand that because I'm not saying you have, but areas for comfortable entries were within the consolidation of the total two or for Bitcoin, and obviously Bitcoin broken out of its consolidation, gone up to new all-time highs, and obviously pointing to another move up before it goes down makes it very tricky to want to enter in with the with my expectation at least, which is that it's going to go up and then down and then back up again. So I suppose that sort of solved that scenario, doesn't it? Really, that's what I think is going to happen. But we're talking about altcoins because most people are actually looking for altcoins, and there is evidence for alt season coming around the corner. If not already, I mean, you could make the case that we're already seeing an alt season of sorts, or at least altcoin gains. So we're going to do the famous old thing, right? We're going to take this off, we're going to put the log scale on, we're going to look at the fractal on the weekly, and we're just going to have a think about what that looks like and what it actually means, all right? So this is what it looks like, this is what it means. So the way that I've sort of navigated this period of the bull market is that I expected a consolidation, I expected a turnaround around the end of this month for this fractal to kind of follow. Now this is a weekly and it's generally a direction, but as you can see, if we continue with the fractal, I'm not saying that we're matching candles to the fractal because that's never been the case. We're talking about time and direction, not like significant highs or anything like that. I'm not suggesting that we're going to reach $5 trillion market cap for the total two, but I'm just trying to point out that when you do go up, and we have gone up, and I also think that this was in the last bull market, at least anyway, this period over here was what happened earlier than it should have done because of the black swan and the money printing that took place. It probably, in my opinion, would have gone on anyway, but it would have been more of a sort of slow and steady with a blow off top towards the end, like the previous bull market, if you're to think about that. So like this. So maybe if we look at the bull market prior to the last one, we can see, all right, we had this run up, which is what I think we're doing at the moment. We're yet to do this period over here, so we've had this breakout. We're over here basically, and then we have a consolidation off its own back, and then we go up for another run. So I think that is most likely what's going to happen. We're going to have this run, then we're going to pull back at some point next year for everything again, have another consolidation, and then we will have another blow off top area towards the end of next year, third, fourth quarter next year. That's what I'm expecting. So if you feel as though you've missed out on this run and you're feeling uncomfortable, you can either wait for a large pullback, and we were looking on the Patreon last night, and to assume a pullback of at least 15% on altcoins is highly likely, highly likely, maybe even double that or more, and before it continues to go back up. Then that's fine. You can start to scale in from those areas, or alternatively, you can wait for this run to finish, a consolidation to begin, and then a final blow off top run after that. So that's the general message of what I'm expecting to see over the next 12 months, really. So again, I get lots of DMs, and it's famous. I always get DMs with XRP when XRP rallies. I talk about XRP regularly enough, about how XRP is good and XRP is doing something different, and XRP has been accumulating around 51 cents for a period of 6 years, and so effectively if it does decide to break out, it'll be significant. This is not going to take you much higher, I don't believe. Very high and hot already on these momentum reads. So money flow index on the daily at 95 almost. I think the weekly is, well, the weekly actually has further to go, so it could be choppy. It could go up and down, and then another big blow off top within the next 4-6 weeks or so. Standard XRP behavior. But overall, what I'm trying to point across is altcoins and crypto, Bitcoin, the lot still has further to run over the next 12 months. In the very short term, I think what we're looking at is for Bitcoin to re-establish a new all-time high and then consolidate, quite a significant consolidation from that. If we look at its the way that it's moved since reclaiming all the moving average, it goes up, down into the 21, up, down into the 21, up, 21 is down here, 78,000. So if we were to measure that from where we are right now, that would be a pullback of 12.5%. If we do it from a new all-time high, we're talking 15 to 20%, and then altcoins will follow that and do another 20 to 30. Like I say, so we are looking for a deeper pullback in the short term before we actually continue up this year. Is my expectation. We'll continue up this year. Not just because crypto's bullish and it's breaking out on the total 2 and on Bitcoin. Many altcoins are doing this that Ethereum's doing at the moment. This is a trend signal. And again, we were looking at, I've been doing streams every night actually. The Streamathon on the Patreon. I'm doing another one tonight as well, by the way. And we came across so many reads like this. So this is a trend signal. You've got a green portion of the cloud that's leading. You've got a conversion baseline cross, so that blue crossing the red, above the cloud. And you've got the Chiku span above the price action. That's a trend signal, all right? Do you know what had one of these a few weeks back? Bitcoin. Bitcoin had one of these, so let's have a look at how that one played out. So there's your trend signal. There, it kicked in around here. The price was at the time 68,000. I took a long at that. If anyone remembers on the Telegram, we're currently up 28%. This is on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's meant to be the slow burn, isn't it? The least volatile of the lot, right? Excluding XRP for the most part. So trend signals work a lot of the time, especially if they're coupled with a golden cross. And we've got the golden cross all the way back down here on exponentials, and on simple moving averages, it's hard to see, but it's here. So perfect set of scenarios. We also had a trend signal on the weekly, which is obviously all still in play. Bitcoin and on the daily and on the weekly, it's all still in place. So everything's looking good for that. But again, Ethereum had one. So many altcoins had them. It's almost like most of the ones that we looked at within the the top cap ones really all had them. So there's power in numbers, is what I often say. And when the ground starts to shift, because all the altcoins have positive signals like this. This is a great signal, a great signal. The only thing we're waiting for now is the golden cross to complete, which looks as though it wants to probably complete over the weekend. If you do get a chance to pull back into that to buy it, it's around 2,800 for Ethereum, support-wise. Then we're looking for the trend signal to play. We're looking for this to bounce. We're looking for it to gain momentum, and probably new local highs, perhaps maybe new all-time highs. It sounds ridiculous, but it's not. This is what we're looking for. So altcoins are looking very good, and it reminds me of how 2020 looked in a way. It's not as epic as leading into 2021, but we had a lot of these reads in at the end of 2020. Altcoins have been doing this for a lot longer period. They've been sideways and down while Bitcoin was rallying high, but then throughout that they came out with these trend signals, and the rest is history. So things are looking pretty good as far as technical indicators are concerned for most altcoins. Ethereum counts for a lot because it's such a weighted chart for the dominance chart here. Again, the dominance chart doing exactly what we expected as well. We're seeing it move up after this initial breakout and the retest. So we're seeing that, and the holy grail will be if we manage to reach up to 63.5% dominance. That's probably where a big alt season would take place. And we're already on our way. We're not far off that now. If we had a dump in the market, Bitcoin coming down 10, 15%, altcoins coming down 30, 40%, you'd probably see yourself get up here quite quickly. And then that's it. Entry point time probably for altcoins, rotation time. Not 100% rotation, but it's worth a shot, because this is what technical indicators are all about. Waiting patiently for the charts to meet up with your expectations and then carry out your plan, really. So that's the dominance chart. We've seen the total 2, we've seen Bitcoin, we've seen Ethereum. I made a video on it yesterday, but the Dixie, in my opinion, is getting ready to consolidate as well now. So we've rallied all the way from the 200 simple moving average on the weekly, golden cross retest. I thought it was going to bounce up. It did. It surpassed all these areas of resistance. Now we're coming up to this massive horizontal area. Big rejection here, big rejection here. Are we going to get a big rejection here? Because if we do, it'll probably take us down over time to this diagonal trend line, which is this huge, massive, whopping, long-standing rising channel, which may even break down. You think it's impossible, but these are bearish setups. It's the opposite of a consolidation. This is a long-standing uptrend that can't go on forever. If it does break down from here, the 90s, then we'll be probably seeing as low as the 80s, and that could happen. and it would happen quite quick. This all complements the crypto bull market over the next 12 months, by the way. This would fit quite nicely into that narrative. So, as much as, you wake up and your portfolio's down, perhaps, maybe, because, that's what portfolios do. They go up one day and they go down another day. Overall, things are looking very good. Very, very good. And this isn't a channel where you tune in for hopium. This is a channel where you tune in for reality, right? And I'm telling you the reality. Ethereum and a lot of other altcoins are showing, well, they've confirmed trend signals, uptrend signals, early stages of that. So if we are going to see a big move up on altcoins, it's going to happen relatively soon, probably before the end of this year. I would expect to see very large moves up on altcoins based on what I'm seeing right now. Marry that with the Dixie and what I'm expecting to see with the Dixie, that will complement that as well. And then, if Bitcoin fizzles out around the mid-90s and then just sort of like reaccumulates around those areas while altcoins are going up, that is alt season. That's what it is. That's really what an alt season is. It's where altcoins outperform Bitcoin consistently, usually dramatically. And I think that's what we're looking at now. So this is one of the first times when we can honestly say that there's enough technical indicators to really, really have a particular bias on what's going to happen next. I allude to alt seasons, I suppose, quite regularly because there's evidence on charts, but there's never been as much evidence since this time last year, really, for an alt season. In fact, I'd probably say there's more evidence for an alt season to begin now than there was last year when we caught those lows on altcoins around October and sailed them up hundreds of %. I think we're looking to do... I'm not going to tell you what sort of percents I'm looking at. That's not the way to think about it. Think about altcoins are going to do 500% in 3 months. I mean, that's something no one could really say. But what I am going to say is there is a trend signal on Ethereum and many other altcoins. Total 2's breaking out. The Bitcoin dominance moving up to a significant horizontal area of rejection with an overheated weekly money flow index, and the Dixie is potentially going to trend down over a period of months, maybe even many months, and it all adds to that idea that an alt season is good. You also see these things like Gary Gensler, I'm leaving the SEC. You have Trump saying no capital gains for US crypto companies. I mean, it's all very bullish narrative that floats around the overall technicals. So you marry it all together, and it's actually, it's a pretty tasty pie that's being baked right now. So I'm going to leave it with you there. And again, nothing is guaranteed. It's all about statistics. And, when you put all these things together, statistically, it's very likely to end up with, some decent altcoin moves over the next weeks, months. So that will be that. Maybe I'll see you on the Patreon. There is links in the description below for that. Also, if you set up a BYDeFi account, send me a DM. Once you've done it, I can give you $25 worth of free trading volume. Free trading money. So it's basically a free trade. If you make money off it, then you get to keep the money. If you lose it, then it's free money anyway. Other than that, I hope you have a nice day and take it easy.